Good morning, or evening if you're watching this later. It is another Monday. It's now Monday the 25th of January 2021. And I, Dakian, am here as always to ramble about miniatures. We're looking at a couple of classic fantasy monsters from Reaper Miniatures in heavy metal. We have this sort of hook horror looking thing. Wound up a bit bluer than I originally thought, but oh well. It's good if everything is not just different shades of brown. And then we have a classical chimera, three-headed monstrosity, a dragon head, a lion head, and a ram's head. It has wings and a lion's body. It looks a little bit glossy here. The thing is, it's pretty cold outside now, and the matte varnish isn't really taking as well as it should. But, you know, I'm not that worried. A little bit of gloss here, a little bit of shine doesn't really matter. If it bothers me later on, I can go back and hit it with another coat of the matte. And it, you know, very simple, basic paint job here. Nothing fancy. Meat and potatoes monsters. Just the way I like them. Now sadly, those two are the only completely finished models this week. There's a lot of stuff in the progress here, including this dragon turtle who, right now, I think the underside is done pretty much, and mostly just working on the top shell. And, you know, if I can probably finish this guy later today, actually. So if I delayed the posting of this episode, I could have had a third finished model, maybe. But I want to get this out as soon as possible. So, yeah. As you can see, I've gone the opposite route from the previous dragon turtle. I painted the small one. I made the body, the flippers, and the head and so forth green, and the shell brown. Now I'm going with this blue, sea blue thing for the shell, and sort of a combination of browns and of more earth colors for the other body parts. I'm not sure about the final tone yet. This is just like an undercoat and a couple of dry brushings. I'm you know, as usual, I'll work it up till I think it's bright enough, then probably get it too bright and I'll tone it down again, and I'll, you know, go back and forth. But definitely there's nothing stopping this guy from being done by next week, certainly. Some more big bads here. The two T-Rexes have been primed and also undercoated through the airbrush. And as you can see, I've decided to go for a couple of different color schemes because nobody really knows what color any dinosaur was. And these clearly don't subscribe to the feathered dinosaur theory. So, yeah, scaly beasts. One are sort of reddish. This is mostly whole red. And this is kind of a blue. This was intended to be a bluish green. It turned out more of a blue-black. But, you know, I'm going to push it more toward the green in the highlights. And, I mean, compared to the dragon turtle, these guys are going to be much simpler to paint. It's just a whole lot of dry brushing and some washes and some back and forth there. Yeah. So fun projects. Looking forward to finishing these. Well, demons assemble. So all these guys, the 3 batwing demons and the 5 little bone demons, I think they're called blood demons. I primed them black because they're all going to be pretty dark colored. I mean, these ones are basically almost black when they're finished. These probably not, but anyway. And I put a gray base coat on the bases as well. So far, that's so far all I've done, but these, I think these will be speed painted, and pretty certain these guys will be in my finished batch next week. Seems likely, at least. But, you know, we'll see how it goes. So the last things to get fully prepped this week are these Wolf Riders and the Elf Mage. And they have just been primed. I've gone for a sort of zenithal priming job here. Very light colors. Started with a leather brown, then a tan color, both through the airbrush, and then it's actually a light dry brush of white primer on top. I'm gonna see if I can do some work with just glazes, maybe, on some of these. And yeah, like I said, haven't got that far yet, but there's progress. And as noted, this new Bones material is very crisp. I'd say it's pretty darn close to metal in terms of the amount of detail, and it's a little wobbly, but not too bad. So yeah, so I did bite off a little bit more than I could chew, in that these 5 Metal Reaper minis, the 4 cat people, and the multi-limbed horror of some sort, I haven't even started prepping them yet. I've opened the blisters to take a look at them and to try to think about basing. That's about as far as I got. But, you know, they'll be ready for next week. It means I don't need to add a lot of more stuff to the queue, but we'll see about that after the numbers. So this week's loot from Kickstarter is the book Terrain Essentials by Mel, the terrain tutor, who has a famous YouTube channel. Now, the timing isn't that great, because when I backed this Kickstarter, I was really into making terrain. Now I've sort of wandered away from that. I don't do that as much anymore. But it's still, you know, a very nicely put together book with a lot of instructions about how to make, about different techniques. So, I mean, it's not number 1 on my reading list right now, but, you know, good thing to have in my library. And a bonus that came with was a miniature. This is a mini of Mel himself, and it has actually 2 different heads, one his normal head and one with a funny cap on it. I'm gonna have to go back and look up some old videos to find what the color scheme of this knit cap should be, because I remember it being kind of rainbow thingy colored. So yeah, and also I gotta check out the color of his pants and his parkas, so I get those exactly right. But, you know, since I didn't finish that many models this week, I don't think I should start that many new projects either. So adding this one single mini to the queue is enough for now. You know, let's. I mean, I added so much last week. Let's tune it down a little bit this week. Anyway, that was it for this week. Hope you enjoyed it, despite the lack of finished stuff. I mean, I know some of you at least like to see the in-progress work. So give it a thumbs up if you want. Subscribe if you haven't done so before. Share the video, comment. But above all, be back here next week, same day of the week, same channel, with me, the same Dakian, who is now signing off.